Good morning and welcome to the June 10th, 2021 Berks County Commissioners Board meeting. We have a moment of silence followed by a pledge to our country's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. We are joined by my colleagues, Commissioner Rivera and Commissioner Leinbach. Commissioner Leinbach is a little under the weather and is at home, but he is on the meeting, so he asked me to convene the meeting today. So we have want to announce that we had an executive session yesterday, June 9th, to discuss personnel, real estate, and litigation. We will also now move to our COVID-19 data report, which is brought to you every week by Brian Gottschall, Director of Berks County Department of Emergency Service and the lead on the Berks County COVID-19 leadership team. Brian, you have the floor.
Good morning, Commissioner. Sorry about that. Caught me a little off guard. Did you want to read the public comment slide?
Yeah, I guess that would help too. Jesse, would you please read the public comment slide? I apologize.
Good morning. Public comment will be accepted through the Q&A function. Please include your first name, last name, and municipality. Any comments without name and municipality will not be considered. Each citizen can submit one comment. Comment length is dictated by limitations of the platform being used, Microsoft Teams Q&A, Facebook, or YouTube. The meeting comment period is limited to 30 minutes in total. Please be concise. Comments will be read during the meeting and should not be considered to be interactive dialogue with the commissioners. Any commissioner response to public comment will be done at the discretion of the commissioners.
Thank you, Jesse. And back to where I was originally, I apologize. We again have Brian Gottschall with our COVID-19 data report. Brian?
Thank you again. So yes, this is our 40th one of these data reports, believe it or not. I went back and did a little count just because it seemed like we're getting long. I think we've gotten a lot better at getting them culled down and more concise to what we hope people are looking for. So as always, one of the most important slides that we look at is where our cases and testing is. Our cases are represented by the blue line, and you can see the significant decline that we've seen just in the last 30 days. Very steep downward curve, down below the level that we were at last fall, looking more like we were last summer. I do want to illustrate, though, that we are still at double the quote-unquote permissible case rate per 100,000 of population that DOH is looking for. So while things are looking incredibly better than they had been for a long time, we still do have COVID in the community. We still want people to act prudently. You know, if they're feeling under the weather, get tested, make sure that they isolate while they're waiting for those test results to make sure that they don't have COVID and aren't spreading it around the community. But of course, things are looking much, much better than they had been for a long time. Our hospital numbers, we did have a little jump up last week, as I had mentioned, but we're kind of back down where we were the week before that, and we hope to continue to see these numbers trending down. I decided we were going to skip the death chart today because there was some kind of narrative good news that I wanted to report. Now, we don't know what's going to happen today because we won't see the numbers published by health until around noontime today. But if we have a 0 death day in Berks County, this is the first 7-day stretch since March 26th of 2020 where we do not have a Berks County resident whose death was attributed to COVID. So that's really great news and is obviously much more important than just looking at a curve on a chart. With respect to vaccinations, actually, this looks exactly like it did last week. We are still number 9th in the state with regard to raw numbers and 33rd for fully and 27th for at least first dose in comparison to other counties. So as I've mentioned every week, 9 is where we would fully expect to be because of our population, but those per capita numbers, we could be doing a lot better. Folks in other counties are pursuing vaccine at a higher rate per capita than we see happening here in Berks County. Taking a look at our goals here. Again, this is based on CDC, the governor's stated goal of 70% of the population over 18. We get these statistics from CDC, and this is current as of yesterday. In Pennsylvania, we're at about 56%, and in Berks County, we're at about 49% of that goal. To look a little bit more deeply into that and see kind of how far along we are, considering folks who've started the process, we have to kind of mesh some data together from DOH and CDC. And what we see here is that we need about 41,000 new residents in Berks County over the age of 18 to pick up the mantle and decide that they want to be vaccinated. There are, of course, many opportunities to do this. They are detailed on the Do Your Part Berks webpage, which is our central focal place to send folks for information about COVID and COVID vaccine. If folks don't have access to computers or prefer not to do it that way, we have the call center manned by Co-County Wellness, and the phone number for that is on the screen. And at the end of the day, if you don't want to do either of those things and you just want to show up and get your vaccine, walk-ins at that location are okay. One last thing I want to mention with respect to vaccinating and the timing is that there's, of course, a considerable investment, both financially as well as from other resources going into providing vaccine in the community by the county, by BCHC, by our other community partners like the healthcare systems. And we understand that there are going to be people at the end of this whole thing that are not going to receive vaccine. They've just made the decision it's not for them and they're not going to do it. But those folks that are open to doing it and are kind of on the fence, we would encourage you to think about doing that sooner rather than later so that this significant infrastructure that's being made available to you out there can start to be ramped down. And, you know, if you're going to do it, better today than tomorrow, better this week than 2 weeks from now is really just the message we're trying to get across. That's the end of my report, Commissioner, so it's back to you unless there are any questions.
Thank you, Brian. Any questions at this point? Hearing none, we'll move on. Thank you, Brian. Co-County Wellness Update, as well as our Berks County Cares Vaccine Center. The Co-County Wellness Report seems to be trending better week over week. The week of June 2nd to the June 9th, we had 138 new contacts, which brings us to a grand total since mid-June of last year of 15,650, with potential larger line exposures of 8. That's the lowest number I can actually recall since we've been receiving weekly reports from Co-County Wellness. Reaching into what Brian was alluding to earlier about now's the time to get your vaccine. On the screen, you will see posted our hours at the Berks Cares Vaccine Center in the North Reading Plaza in Muhlenberg Township. We met with the Community Health Center earlier this week, and they are going to continue the same hours going forward through the month of July. So far, as of Tuesday, total doses were 2,715. First dose is 2,220 and second dose is 495 at the Berks Cares Vaccine Center. Now, it's critically important to understand that the next 2 weeks, we're going to be putting together, and this will be approved at the board meeting today under item H, a budget not to exceed of $15,000 to do massive marketing efforts in the coming 2 weeks to encourage people strongly, if they're willing to get the vaccine. Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, all three are available at the Berks Cares Vaccine Center. We want you out there within the next 2 weeks. The hours will be extended Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into Saturday until the end of July. But by the end of July, we will be ceasing operations at the Berks Cares Vaccine Center. We feel as though there are significant other areas where the vaccine is available, and we are going to stay open for people who go there the next 2 weeks, whether it's Pfizer or Moderna, to give you your second 21 days or 28 days with a little bit of overage in case you can't get there on the 21st day or the 28th day from your first vaccine. We're going to be staying open until July 31st. Again, Johnson & Johnson is one shot. Pfizer's available for young people 12 and up. So here's your golden opportunity. There'll be a lot of advertising the next 2 weeks to prepare everyone for our phase out and closure of the Berks Cares Vaccine Center on July 31st. Anything I may have missed, Brian?
Yeah, if I could just weigh in on one thing, Commissioner, to clarify, I'm not sure if we have other slides for the other weeks yet, but the schedule that is on the screen right now is, of course, the schedule for the time period shown.
Right.
The following week, it will be another flexible schedule, and then the regular scheduling will actually begin throughout July. So moving into the month of July is when the regular recurring weekly schedule will take place.
And we're sticking with the same hours through the month of July, so people have 40 hours every week to get out there and get their shots.
That is correct. And that will include a Saturday opportunity as well as weekday evening opportunities at least 2 of the days.
Correct. So thank you, everyone, for your participation. We want to see thousands of people going out, 41,000 to be exact, in the next 2 weeks. So thank you. Moving on to the approval of the minutes of the June 3rd, 2021 Commissioners meeting and the June 8th, 2021 Operations meeting. If there are no corrections or objections, the minutes will stand approved as presented. Minutes are approved. Is there any public comment on the printed agenda items? I wasn't watching the questions. Jesse, is there anything there regarding the agenda items?
No, there are not.
Thank you. Okay, moving to Budget Department. Item A, adopt the resolution authorizing 2020 appropriations in the amount of $495,918. Budget transfer in the amount of $28,400 and 2021 appropriations in the amount of $15,208 for listing dated June 7th, 2021. Under Human Resources, item A, adopt the resolution authorizing Human Resources recommendations for listing dated June 10th of 2021. Authorize the appointment of Deborah Miller to payroll analyst in the Human Resources Department. Authorize the promotion of Kristen Priest from County Casework Supervisor 1 to Casework Supervisor 2 and Area Agency on Aging. Item 3, authorizing the hourly part-time rate adjustments for custodial staff and park rangers as outlined on the attached listing effective June 16th, 2021. Item B, adopt a resolution approving the revised travel and expense reimbursement policy, section 6.1, effective June 10th, 2021. Under purchasing, item A, adopt a resolution authorizing the award and Director of Contracts and Procurements to execute a contract as a result of request for proposal 21-08-KL for an economic development action plan, Imagine Berks, as follows: to Fourth Economy Consulting, Inc., 160 Woodhaven Drive, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, not to exceed $195,775. Under the Commissioners, item A, adopt the resolution authorizing execution of Amendment Number 1 to Subgrant Agreement 33007, Capital Case Indigent Defense with the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. The amendment is for an extension of the project period to June 30th, 2022. Item B, adopt a resolution ratifying, confirming, and approving execution by Christian Y. Leinbach, Chair of the Cash Management Master Agreement with Santander Bank to provide certain cash management services. Item C, adopt a resolution authorizing Jane Meeks, Executive Director of the Berks County Solid Waste Authority, to apply for the Municipal Recycling Program Performance Grant to Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, Bureau of Waste Management for calendar year 2020. Item D, adopt a resolution ratifying, confirming, and approving execution by Shelley O'Neill of change order HCM 002 to the statement of work for reports and the Oracle Cloud Managed Services Agreement. Item E, adopt a resolution establishing the America 250 PA Berks County Commission and further authorize an initial allocation of $5,000. A copy of the resolution will be sent to the Berks County Legislative Delegation and the America 250 PA Commission. Item G, adopt a resolution approving the allocation of the second round of funding in the amount of $981,500 for the COVID-19 Hospitality Industry Recovery Program, also known as CHIRP, for applicants approved by the Greater Berks Development Fund CHIRP Grant Administrator per attached listing. Item A, adopt a resolution approving a not to exceed budget amount of $15,000 for additional vaccine center and vaccine awareness promotions, and further authorize Stephanie Weaver, Public Relations Officer, to execute any and all contracts or documents associated with said plan upon final review and approval of the County Solicitor's Office. Item 2, motion authorizing execution of contract agreements and amendments as set forth in attached listing dated June 8th, 2021. Item 3, motion to ratify and confirm payments set forth in the Controller's Office vouchers listing dated June 8th, 2021, and the payment of electronic transfers and employee payroll. That is our agenda as presented.
Motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Second that motion.
And again, I erred in not announcing there are 11 contracts, 7 with the Area Agency on Aging, 2 with Children and Youth Services, and 2 with the HR Department. I'll get this right one of these years. All is in favor, consent by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, ayes have it. Moving right along to the report of the Treasurer and the Controller. We have A. Dennis Adams, County Treasurer, and he also has an expanded report for today. Morning, Dennis.
Good morning. Hope you're feeling better there. You look a little tired there. So this morning we have an opening balance of $241,432,960.09. A balance to clear of $5,714,185.85, leaving us with a balance of $235,718,774.24. I'd like to ask Nikki Blanding to join us. She's the Director of Tax Claims. We're in the process of implementing a new tax sale process, and I asked her to, since she's heading it up, to give us a little update on it.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Good morning, everyone. We're partnering with Bid for Assets to actually host our first ever online tax sale auction. This is the same vendor that the Sheriff's Department is using, so we're hoping to have as much success as they've been having. It's at zero cost to the county, so it's a financially responsible option. And with COVID-19, while there's been a lot of negative impact, it also helped us to identify some inefficiencies and maybe some areas where we could transition to a more progressive approach, which is why we're going this route. So Bid for Assets is an online auction company, and we're hosting our first sale with them starting on Friday, June 18th. The bidding process will open on June 17th at 10 a.m. and you're welcome to bid throughout the 24-hour period, closing at June 18th at 10 a.m. in batches of 15 to 20 properties incrementally. So we're hoping that we're going to get the same amount of success. We currently have 113 properties on the list, and we normally sell about almost all of them. So we're hoping to have the same exposure, but this also helps to relieve our staff for being able to assist the taxpayers that are on the sale. We're going to be able to remain open since we don't have to worry about logistic issues and the connectivity issues, and then also with COVID-19, the social distancing parameters and health and welfare of the public and our staff. So we're planning on using this to kind of gauge the success of the project, and if this works out, we'll move all of our sales to the online platform, and hopefully we'll be able to keep on going with it. So we're excited. So, but please, if we can put it out there, you know, taxpayers, call us. We're here to answer any questions and offer any options available. Bidders, you're welcome to call us, go onto our website, go onto Bid for Assets website, or call their customer service line. And all of that information is on the tax claim website for review then.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks, Nick.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving to Sandy Graffius, our County Controller, for her report.
Okay, gentlemen. Let's see what we have here. We had no payroll this week. We have a total cash disbursements of $13,130,867.63. That is my report.
Thank you, Sandy. Report of Chief Administrative Officer Ronald R. Seaman.
Thank you. There is nothing to report at this time.
Thank you, Ron. Under my report, I just want to remind everyone on Microsoft Teams at 11 a.m. will be our elections board meeting. We have 2 items. We have a tie to determine Antietam School District, and we also have a petition to accumulate that we have to clarify for a Kutztown candidate. So it should be a relatively brief meeting, but that will begin at 11 o'clock. Yes.
I have it down as noon.
Okay. So it says 12, call to order 12 o'clock. So I apologize.
That's okay. I just didn't
Okay.
want people to get a wrong impression of the time.
If we were in Chicago, it would be 11 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm on Chicago time. Sorry about that. Thank you, Commissioner Linebaugh. Commissioner Rivera.
Yes, thank you very much, Commissioner Barnhart. Just a few things here. One, I want to welcome Elizabeth Kraft to the county. She is the new Assistant County Solicitor, just started this week. So Elizabeth, welcome. Looking forward to meeting with you. Second, I want to also mention that the county bond rating has been reaffirmed as AAA stable outlook. And basically what Moody's is saying, and the credit overview, it says the credit position for Berks County is exceptional, and its AAA rating is stronger than the median rating for AA2 for counties nationwide. Notable credit factors include a very healthy financial position, a manageable debt burden, and a moderate pension liability. It also reflects an extensive tax base and a healthy wealth and income profile. So kudos to our finance department and everyone who has worked hard to maintain this bond rating for the county. That's very good. It means that the county is very healthy financially, and it's something we work very hard to accomplish and continue to work very hard to maintain. Next, the book Bonanza. The donation of books has stopped as of yesterday because of the great support that they received, but they will be selling the books from July 7th to July 11th, and this will be where the former Gap store was in the Berkshire Mall. Paperbacks will sell for $1 and hardbacks for $2. So please go there and support the book Bonanza. They can always use more volunteers. So if you have any time available and would like to help at the cashier or restock shelves, they need help, especially on Thursday and Friday, July 8th and July 9th from 5 to 8 p.m. and on Saturday, July 10th from 4 to 7 p.m. and on Sunday, July 1 to 4 p.m. There is a $5 a bag sale on Sunday. So please, if you do want to help, please reach out to them, let them know. www.berksbookbonanza.org. There's contact information for them there. Also, if you're looking for some books, please visit them between the 7th and the 11th of July. And the warm weather's here, hopefully to stay now for a while. And our Berks County parks are a great place to go and spend time with family and friends. A lot of times we want to try to go to other places to have fun, but we have some great parks right here in the county where you can learn a lot about the history of Berks County. There's areas to play, there's playgrounds, there's bathrooms, you can fish, there's tons of things you can do in our parks here. And to feature our parks, I've dedicated my County Connections BCTV show to parks in May and in June. The one I did in May was featuring Brings Mill. You can view it on YouTube by searching bctv.org and then clicking on County Connection to find the video. And my next show, which will air on Monday, June 28th on BCTV at 6:30, will feature the Heritage Center. They are open now for visitors, so please, for more information on our parks, visit the county's website and go to the Parks and Recreation Department, or you can also go to the Berks County Parks and Recreation Department on Facebook. So make sure you use those parks this summer and enjoy what Berks County has to offer. Thank you very much, and Commissioner Linebaugh.
Just two quick items. One, I also want to welcome Elizabeth Kraft as our new Assistant Solicitor in the Solicitors Department. Glad to have her on board. Secondly, I also want to acknowledge the importance of the Moody's bond rating. The AAA plus stable outlook is the highest bond rating a county can receive. We're one of a handful of counties in Pennsylvania with that level of bond rating. And it is important because the most important aspect of what we do as county commissioners is manage the finances of the county. It's one of the most important roles each department plays, our budget department in particular, because if your finances get out of whack, at some point, those financial troubles begin to direct everything that you do in an organization. That's true in a home, it's true in a business, and it is equally true in county government. So I compliment my colleagues, Commissioner Rivera, Commissioner Barnhart, for them keeping their eye on the ball, always looking and asking the question, is this a good use of county taxpayer dollars? Is this financially sound? And we will continue to do that going into the future, but this is a very good place to be and something, frankly, worth celebrating. So that's all that I have. Thank you, Commissioner Barnhart.
Thank you to my colleagues. Anything from our row officers who are on our call this morning? Okay, that was a pregnant pause, so we can move forward. Thank you. Jesse?
Sandy Graffius has her
Yes,
hand
Sandy.
up.
Yes, Sandy.
Okay, I'm back to the debit cards, gang. Out of 1,147, there are under 200 that have not been cashed. If you're having trouble accessing your money in your debit card, please call my office and I'll help you get straightened out. 610-621-6950. Please call my office if you're having trouble getting your debit card cashed and I'll help you work it out.
Thank you, Sandy, for that update. Any other row officers? Hearing none, we'll move on to comments from citizens. Jesse, would you please read the comments on Microsoft Teams, please?
Jim Beidler, Bern Township. The State Commissioners Association has called for pre-canvassing and an earlier mail ballot deadline. 3 parts to the question. 1, do you support these changes? 2, do you support these changes as a standalone bill that would become law rather than as part of a voter suppression package that likely would be vetoed? 3, if you don't support a standalone bill, how can you be taken seriously on voting rights? Numbers 1 and 2 are simple yes or no questions. Number 3 might require a little more comment from each commissioner. Crystal Kowalski, why missing? Good morning, commissioners. The daily jail admission logs from last week show a jail population hovering around 770 people. That is an increase of 70 people from a couple months ago. It is an increase of 200 people from this time last year. There are experts that analyze data such as jail logs, arrest reports, sentencing practices, and statistics to help states and counties understand what drives their incarceration rates. Berks County's incarceration rate is increasing. Please, as you have done in many other situations, work with a reputable organization that specializes in data-driven solutions. An organization like the Vera Institute can help Berks County achieve its professed ideals, and it can also save taxpayers a lot of money. Thank you, Crystal Kowalski. Bob Klein, Hamburg. My question to you is in reference to Karcher Creek Park. 1, can you confirm if the park side area of Karcher Creek Park next to the soccer field has ever been tested for lead contamination since the park was closed to the general public? If yes, can you release the test results? If no, why? Tim Mazeka, Hamburg. Commissioners, the EPA has signed off on the safety of Karcher Creek Park in regards to the issue of lead contamination. However, apprehension exists among your body as to the possible future discovery at Karcher Creek. When the county purchased Antietam Lake from the city of Reading and the nearby Angora Fruit Farm, Did the commissioners ask either of those sellers for indemnification for the possible future discovery of lead contamination on either site? If not, why? Since lead was first detected at Karcher Creek in the 90s, why didn't the county issue a warning to anyone fishing or picnicking there at the time? Between the first discovery and 2014, when the county ended their lease with the Fish and Boat Commission, does the county assume any responsibility to anyone who may have contracted lead poisoning or other modalities due to the failure to warn the public of the condition, which appears to be stumbling block for a new lease agreement with Fish and Boat? Or this just about money and not people? Luis Grimm, why missing? Good morning, commissioners. Last week I asked about the future of the detention center, but did not get an answer. We drove by the center yesterday during a visit to a Berksheim resident and noted many cars parked at the center. Could you tell us what the status is regarding the Heim Annex? Becky Ellis, Reading. Good morning, commissioners. After reviewing the comments from Thursday's June 3rd, 2021 Berks County Commissioners meeting, I want to verify what the county's next steps are with regards to Karcher Creek Park. The EPA has signed off on the safety of Karcher Creek Park in the email from Mr. Dow. That cannot be disputed. At this point, there are only two options. One, to proceed with signing the agreement with the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission as stated, without any additional language or amendments to the agreement. Or two, in your capacity as county commissioners, you can have all of Karcher Creek Park tested for lead contamination at a cost of $29 per sample by Penn State University. Pricing on soil sample submission form from the Pennsylvania State University at, there's a link listed. If you're concerned about any future contamination, as elected officials, you have the power to make this request for testing of Karcher Creek Park by the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission if there is any doubt in your minds as for the safety of the park. We, as private citizens, should not have to do this work for you. Either of these two options moves us as a community and as a county closer to reopening the park. Sitting back and hoping that the public forgets about the park for another 8 years is unacceptable. Next year is the 50th anniversary of Karcher Creek Park. The goal is to have the park rehabilitated and reopened for the community of Northern Berks and beyond to enjoy by 2022. There are government grants available for almost any project, which is a great piece of information that I learned at one of our recent Berks County Parks and Recreation meetings. There is no excuse for not rehabilitating this beautiful piece of our county's history. I look forward to your response. Thank you, Becky Ellis. Fred Centograph Senior, Berkshire Heights. Greetings, commissioners. A free and fair November 3rd, 2020 election would have continued and improved upon President Donald Trump's accomplishments, some of which follow: fair and reciprocal trade, secured historic trade deals to defend American workers, immediately withdrew from the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership, ended the North American Free Trade Agreement, and replaced it with the brand new United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement. USMCA contains powerful new protections for American manufacturers, automakers, farmers, dairy producers, and workers. The USMCA is expected to generate over $68 billion in economic activity and potentially create over 550,000 new jobs over 10 years. Signed an executive order making it government policy to buy American and hire American, and took action to stop the outsourcing of jobs overseas. Negotiated with Japan to slash tariffs and open its market to $7 billion in American agricultural products, and ended its ban on potato and lamb. Over 90% of American agricultural exports to Japan now receive preferential treatment, and most are duty-free. Negotiated another deal with Japan to boost $40 billion worth of digital trade. Renegotiated the United States-Korea Free Trade Agreement, doubling the cap on imports of American vehicles and extending the American light truck tariff. The current administration policies will have a negative impact on these positive accomplishments to the detriment of our prosperity. Thank you and Godspeed. Councilor Jerome J. Samuel Redding. Is there any new funding for public schools? Updating some of the things in schools. And I believe that's all that I see here.
Thank you, Jesse. My colleagues have any response to any of the questions and or statements that were presented this morning?
Yes, I'll comment on the election reform. The Commissioners Association and I've been very clear. I support addressing these two items separately, and that is the pre-canvassing as well as addressing the deadline issue. The County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania said the same thing. Let me be clear, though, that there are a number of other items that the County Commissioners Association believe need to be addressed, but we do not want them plugged in to one big bill, because we believe the clarity and the need for these two are clear cut. And most of the political folks in both the governor's office and in the legislature have agreed on these two issues. So we are hopeful that they will handle them as a separate piece of legislation. I just think that's the only right way to proceed. The only other thing I'm going to address is the status of the residential center is that we're waiting to hear back from the feds on what it is they want to do. It's as simple as that. The contract with the feds is still in place. The county is still being paid to keep the facility in place, and there's no one in the facility at this point in time. So the ball is in the feds' court. That's all I have, Commissioner Barnhart.
Thank you, Commissioner Rivera.
I was actually going to touch on the same two items that Commissioner Leinbach did, so I just want to echo his comments on both the elections issue and on the BCRC as well.
Yes, and for my part, I actually serve on the Elections Reform Committee at CCAP, so I'm well versed in what our requests are. And yes, it would be nice if it was a standalone bill, but we all know how the sausage is made in Harrisburg. We never know what we're going to end up with once the General Assembly has an arrangement and has at least the understanding that the governor might sign something similar to Act 77. We were not aware of Act 77 until it was signed. So we're hoping this doesn't happen this go around, but there's an awful lot of things included in some of these bills, which I don't personally agree with. But the number one issue for us at the County Commissioners Association is obviously the pre-canvassing and the matching up of the deadlines for requesting mail-in ballots and for voter registration. So it would be nice if they could make things clean and easy for a county, but they generally don't do that in Harrisburg. So that's my little editorial comment for the day. And Sandy's coming back to her room. Okay. Any other comments from anyone on the call? Hearing nothing, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Enjoy your day, everyone. Thank you.